Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, developer advocate here at Dremio with another example of a function you can use on the Dremio Lakehouse platform. And today we're going to be going over the CORR function. Now in the previous video we went over the log function and we were able to kind of capture the relationship between the movement of a couple numbers using that function. But again, it just gave us an idea of direction. We really want to kind of capture a tight correlation, and that's what this CORR function is for us to capture the correlation, okay, between two numbers, okay, between a series of two numbers, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a correlation between our advertising spend, so how much we spend on advertising, to our sales revenue, because the idea is we want to know, hey, is there a relationship? If we spend more money on advertising, does that, based on the way our revenue trends, does that correlate? Doesn't necessarily mean it's a causal, but is there a relationship between the amount we spend on advertising towards our revenue? Okay, it could be then, the causal relationship can go either way. Hey, maybe we're spending more on advertising because we're making more revenue, but it also could be that we're spending more on advertising, which is leading to more revenue. But first, we need to establish that relationship exists. Okay, so in this case, we're going to create a table that has the ID, the month, and the advertising spend for that month, and the sales revenue for that month. We're going to inject some data into that table. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, we want to find the correlation between these two fields. Okay, so basically give us a correlation between these two numbers, and that's going to give us the correlation coefficient between those two fields. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. Okay, now if you're familiar with like finance, like there's something called, I forgot to change the context. Let me just go do that. Okay, boop. Put that in my January demos context. Okay, let's run that all again. Run. Okay. Now, if you ever were familiar with like financial concepts, there's a concept like called beta. Now, beta would oftentimes be the correlation between like a stock and it relative to the overall market. Okay. And typically the way you would read beta is that if a beta is of 1, if the market was up 1%, the stock would be up 1%. If the beta was 2, if the market was up 1%, the stock would be up 2%. And a negative beta would mean the opposite. If the market was up 1%, the stock would be down 1%. So, but that's really useful in determining sort of like, okay, if I expect the market to behave a certain way, how do I expect this particular stock to behave in my portfolio? So in this case, I'm measuring the same type of correlation between advertising and sales data. Okay, here we're saying about pretty much near 1. So theoretically, if we spend 1% more in advertising, okay, we're going to see a 1% increase in sales. Okay, that's sort of the correlation based on the data in the data set here. Okay, if that was negative, it would mean the opposite. We spend more in advertising and sales goes down, or vice versa. So there's the correlation based on using this CORR function. Okay, and that can give us a lot of information to kind of get an idea if a relationship exists, and so we can start thinking about and digging into why that relationship may exist. So my name is Alex Merced, developer advocate here at Dremio. Again, you can find this and all the code from all these videos in the link in the video description. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.